Hello, everyone. Welcome to Moonlit Stories. Today, I'll share a story about a woman who was once treated as a second choice, but after being given a second chance at life, she chose her own destiny and found a love beyond her imagination, a broken marriage, a misunderstood sister, and a royal romance waiting to unfold. So, without further ado, let's begin.
When my older sister disguised herself as a man, she made two friends who would change everything. The moment they discovered she was actually a woman, they both showed up at our door, asking for her hand in marriage. She couldn't choose. She cared about them both and didn't want to break either man's heart. So my older brother came up with a plan. Draw lots. One man would marry my sister. The other would marry me. In my last life, Wade drew my name. He forced a smile. The second young lady is wonderful too. I believed him. I shouldn't have. After we got married, he never stopped comparing me to my sister. I wasn't clever enough. I couldn't understand his dreams or ambitions. I was too delicate, too sheltered. I couldn't ride beside him through hardship or build the future he wanted. So when fate brought me back to the day my brother suggested drawing lots, I shook my head. No. I've already agreed to enter the royal selection. The room fell silent. My sister frowned and shot to her feet. Did father force you into it? I smiled softly. No. This time, it's my choice. After our mother died, my sister and father could barely stand each other. She had my brother protecting her, so father couldn't control her. Instead, he controlled me. In my previous life, father insisted I enter the royal selection. I hated the idea. Then, by coincidence, my sister's two admirers came to ask for her hand. One was the heir to a powerful family. The other was a rising young general. Both loved her with all their hearts. Unable to choose, my brother stepped in. I have another sister. She's about the same age and even resembles her. Why not let fate decide? One marries my older sister. The other marries my younger sister. Desperate to escape the palace, I agreed without thinking. And that's how I married Wade. Looking back, that awkward smile on his face wasn't meant to comfort me. It was meant to convince himself. To be fair, he never treated me cruelly. But every disappointment in his career became another reason to compare me with my sister. Whenever his plans fell apart, he'd lock himself in his study with a bottle. One night, I made him a warm soup to help with the hangover and stayed by his side until morning. When he finally opened his eyes, he stared at my face. A face that looked so much like my sister's. His eyes were filled with regret. If it were Guerong, she'd understand me. She'd know exactly what to say. My fingers tightened until my nails dug into my palm. Then he glanced at the empty bowl. You didn't have to do this yourself. The servants could have handled it. That was the day my heart finally gave up. After that, I stopped trying. For 2 years, we lived together like polite strangers. Then, without warning, Wade accepted an urgent assignment far from the capital. He didn't tell me until everything had already been decided. I had less than a day to pack before leaving with him. The journey was exhausting. I barely held on. When we finally arrived in the south, spring rain covered the streets. The moment I stepped off the carriage, I slipped. A warm ache spread through me. I looked down. Red stained the hem of my dress. Our baby was gone. Wade rubbed his forehead, exhausted. You should have told me sooner. For the first time since our marriage, I lost my temper. Sooner? You disappeared for 2 months. You accepted the assignment without asking me. You gave me less than a day to prepare. And on the road, you rushed ahead because I was slowing you down. My voice trembled. If I was suffering, who exactly was I supposed to tell? Silence. He finally apologized. Holding my freezing hands, he whispered, "Take care of yourself. We'll have another child." Eventually, I did. A beautiful little baby. But that same year, floods destroyed the region. Disease spread everywhere. Food ran short. After giving birth, I never had the chance to recover. My health collapsed. I spent most of my days confined to bed. On our child's first birthday, friends came to celebrate. That night, Wade drank too much. My wife grew up spoiled. She's far too fragile. If Guerrong were here instead, even while pregnant, she'd still be riding across the countryside. She'd never have ruined her health like this. His friends kept trying to stop him. He didn't. I stood quietly outside the door. I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I simply turned around and walked away. The next morning, I handed him the divorce papers. At first, he refused. He said he was drunk. He begged. He apologized. He swore he would change. But a marriage doesn't fall apart in one night. And a heart doesn't turn cold in a single moment. In the end, he signed. The day I left, he walked me to the gate. Looking at my pale, fragile face, he sighed. Maybe we should never have settled for each other. For once, he was right. So when I returned to the day my brother suggested drawing lots, I made a different choice. I looked everyone in the eye and said, I've decided to enter the royal selection. This time, I will never marry him. I walked out of the main hall. My sister rushed after me, leaving everyone behind. Did father say something to you? Don't let him fool you. The palace is a golden cage. Once you're in, there's no leaving. She was truly worried about me. I stopped and turned around. Everyone wants something different. You want freedom. I want a life of luxury. I've made up my mind. I'm entering the palace. She froze. She stood there, watching me walk away. She couldn't understand my choice. My mother died giving birth to me. I never got to meet her. People said she was a legendary general. When she was alive, my brother practiced swordsmanship. My sister followed him everywhere with a little wooden sword. When my brother trained on horseback, mother would lift my sister into the saddle. The two of them would race across the training ground together. Their laughter filled the air. At night, my sister would fall asleep listening to mother's stories of old battles. Those were the happiest days. Then I was born. Mother died. Everyone believed my birth took her away. And with her, all the joy in this family disappeared. I was too young to understand. Even when everyone kept their distance, I still followed my sister everywhere. Eventually, her heart softened. She even tried to teach me martial arts, but my body was too weak. After one day outside, I came down with a high fever. Father blamed my sister. She argued back without fear. You only hate women learning martial arts because mother outshined you. Father slammed the table. Enough. My sister laughed. You know I'm right. Father was furious. He was ready to punish her. My brother stepped in and stood between them. If she gets punished, so do I. Father couldn't bring himself to do it. From that day on, our family split in two. My brother and sister stood together. I was left standing beside father. After that, my sister rode horses, trained, made friends, and lived freely. I stayed inside. Lessons, embroidery, perfect manners. Every day was the same. People who knew mother always said my sister was just like her. As for me, the daughter mother gave her life for, I was nothing like her. I stared into the mirror again and again. I looked so much like my sister. Why wasn't I like mother? So I started copying everything my sister did. I wore men's clothes. I snuck outside. I wanted to become her. Instead, my brother scolded me. Stop causing trouble for your sister. Father was even harsher. Don't copy her. You should act like a proper young lady. Back then, I believed my sister's life was the only life worth living. I was wrong. 10 years of marriage taught me that there isn't only one way to live. My sister chose freedom. I can choose something else. I'm Shingi. I'm delicate. I hate hardship. I don't belong on battlefields. I belong somewhere safe. Somewhere comfortable. So I accepted father's plan. I would enter the palace. That evening, my brother came to see me. He said things became awkward after I left. Then he lectured me. You embarrassed everyone today. He explained that the two men who came to propose were both outstanding. Either one would have made an excellent husband. Marrying either of them would have been a blessing. I lowered my head, almost falling asleep. Then I muttered, if you like them that much, maybe you should marry one yourself. He almost choked. The lecture stopped immediately. I glanced at the dessert he had brought. One bowl for my sister. One for me. It looked fair, but I never liked it. Just like the red dresses, the fur coats, every gift he gave me was something my sister loved. He wasn't buying gifts for me. He was buying gifts for her. Then, remembering he had another sister,
So he bought two.
I took out every gift I'd kept. I placed them beside the dessert and pushed everything back. His eyes widened. Oh, and the pony you gave me years ago. It's still in the stable. You can take that too.
He stared at me.
Guy, are you cutting ties with me? I shook my head.
No.
I just finally realized something. I spent years trying to become my sister. I forgot to be myself. Everything she likes. I don't. The evening breeze drifted through the window. After a long silence, he sighed. If you're upset about the marriage, you can choose first. I'll convince your sister. He still didn't understand. He thought I was only fighting over a husband. I stood up. No need. My decision won't change. I'm entering the palace. He frowned. You've never even met His Majesty. 7 days from now, he'll visit the temple to pray. I'll arrange for you to see him. If you regret this, you'll still have time. Over the next few days, my sister's 2 admirers came to see her every single day. She was completely overwhelmed. Back when she disguised herself as a man, the 3 of them had studied together. They'd been as close as brothers. Now she had to choose one of them. One day, I went to Father's study. As I passed the corridor, I heard my sister talking to Wade. She gave a helpless smile. I really can't choose. If only I could split myself in half. Sympathy flashed across Wade's face. Then he casually asked, "Where's your younger sister?" My sister sighed. Father hired a palace tutor. She's learning court etiquette. Wade nodded. Once she enters the palace, we may not see her again for years. Instead of sending her there, why not let her marry into a good family? She'd have people to protect her. My sister looked at him in surprise. Wait, are you saying? Wade smiled calmly. I don't want to see you struggle. And marrying your sister would be a wonderful choice too. I stepped out from around the corner. But Miss Shin doesn't think marrying you is such a great idea. I looked straight at Wade. Everything you said was for my sister. You're willing to settle. So, why should I settle too? Shingi will never be someone's second choice. Wade frowned. You misunderstood. I was only trying to find a solution that worked for everyone. I have a better one. I cut him off. My sister can't marry both of you, but she can invite both of you into our family. If you're willing to marry into the Shin family, Mr. Wade, I'll even try to convince Mr. Pei. And if Mr. Pei says no, congratulations. You'll have my sister all to yourself. The air froze. My sister blinked. For a second, she actually seemed to be considering it. Wade's face turned pale. He looked completely speechless. I couldn't help laughing. What happened? Weren't you the one talking about making sacrifices? Why don't you like this plan? Looks like your love isn't as selfless as you claimed. I turned and walked away. At the end of the hallway was Father's study. Nanny Yang smiled as I entered. I once met General Liu. You look exactly like her. She called Mother General Liu, not Lady Shin. Mother had earned people's respect with her own name. She left behind a great legacy. Then she was gone. I lowered my eyes. Everyone says my sister is the one who takes after Mother. Nanny Yang shook her head. Your sister hesitates too much. She's more like your father. But your heart is exactly like General Liu's. In my last life, I wanted to hear those words more than anything. Now I finally did, but they meant nothing. I asked quietly, if it were you, what would you choose? Instead of answering, she smiled. General Liu had many admirers. Your father wasn't the first. He wasn't even the best. But he was the one who always thought about her first. I understood. Neither Wade nor Pei was truly thinking about my sister. They were only thinking about winning her. I didn't want my sister to rush into a lifetime of regret. Marriage was a gamble. She deserved time to figure out what she really wanted. A cough came from inside the study. How long are you going to stand outside? Come in. Father had clearly heard everything. He called me in to give me mother's inheritance. I opened the ledger. Everything had already been divided equally. I closed it. Give my sister a little more. Father looked confused. What did that troublemaker do this time? After mother passed away, father never remarried. He complained about my sister every day. He hated that she practiced martial arts. He hated that she dressed like a man. But deep down, he had never truly stopped her. I smiled. If Mr. Wade joins our family, and maybe Mr. Pay does too, my sister might need a bigger fortune. I set father's overturned teacup back on the table. Just think of it this way. You didn't lose a troublesome daughter. You gained another son. The news reached both the Wade and Pay families almost immediately. Suddenly, everything went quiet. Just when everyone thought both proposals were over, a rumor spread across the capital. People said the king had chosen me as his future queen. Overnight, invitations poured into our house. Without a lady of the house, my sister and I rarely attended social gatherings before. Now, there was no way to avoid them. At today's banquet, almost every guest was a noblewoman. The moment they saw me, every smile became sweeter. At first, my sister joined their conversation. A few minutes later, the smile disappeared from her face. I walked over and listened. Lady Lee was complaining. Her husband had brought home another woman. Now he barely looked at his own wife. Lady Wang slammed the table. If it were me, I'd throw her out. Then Lady Tang, who was expecting a baby, quickly changed the subject. She started asking everyone for advice about motherhood. My sister quietly stepped away. She looked shaken. They're all... She stopped. For the first time, she couldn't find the words. Lady Li was beautiful. Lady Wang was a skilled horse rider. Lady Tang was kind and well-educated. Every one of them was remarkable.
Yet all they talked about
Were their husbands, never themselves. My sister looked completely lost. If I get married someday, will I become like them too? I didn't answer. In my last life, we both got married. We lived in different homes. We rarely saw each other again. Her letters never spoke of happiness, but they never spoke of pain either.
maybe.
That silence said everything. The king traveled to Guiqing Temple to pray for the kingdom. Along with the court officials, 2 noble ladies joined the procession. My brother arranged for my sister and me to walk beside them. The 2 women smiled when they saw us. It's hard to believe General Lu's daughters are all grown up. One of them was much older than my mother. She had already become a grandmother and had stayed away from court for years. The other was about mother's age. She had just returned to the capital. She looked at my sister with warm eyes. I still remember the day your mother came home after her victory. I waited at the city gate just to welcome her. My sister's eyes lit up. She eagerly asked about mother's stories. When we reached the temple, everyone was exhausted. The 2 ladies went to rest. Before leaving, my brother warned us. The East Courtyard belongs to His Majesty. Don't go anywhere near it. When the time is right, I'll take you there. That evening, a young palace attendant suddenly arrived. A skilled young woman broke into His Majesty's residence. She startled the king. The maids all looked at each other. No one spoke. Soon, many officials rushed over. Wade was among them. The moment he heard a skilled young woman, his expression changed. He stepped forward at once. She argued with me earlier. She lost her composure. If anyone deserves punishment, punish me. The palace attendant glanced at him. His Majesty only asked me to bring the young lady. Wade swallowed hard. His eyes slowly swept across the crowd. Then, they stopped on me. The palace attendant understood immediately. Miss Shen, please come with me. I had been waiting in my room for my brother's message. I hadn't taken a single step outside. There was no way I had entered the king's residence. This had nothing to do with me. I wasn't about to accept someone else's mistake. Now Wade suddenly acted like he was protecting me. The whole situation became even stranger. I looked at my brother. I wanted him to tell the truth. Our eyes met. For one brief moment, I saw him hesitate. His hand slowly tightened. Then he looked away. He said nothing. Only then did I realize my sister wasn't here. Both Wade and my brother believed the king was looking for her. One tried to push the blame onto me. The other stayed silent. I had always known my brother favored my sister, but knowing and seeing it with my own eyes were two different things. For a moment, my heart felt empty. Then, a strange sense of relief washed over me. I stepped forward. "I'll go." The crowd parted. Just then, a nearby door opened. My sister walked out. She had changed into men's clothes. Her hair was tied up. She looked confident and free. She hurried over to my brother. With a bright smile, she pretended to draw a sword. "Brother, do I look like mother now?" My brother's face turned pale. "Where have you been?" She blinked. "At Grandma Ho's courtyard. I secretly changed into this outfit. She even said I look exactly like mother. By the way, why is everyone gathered here? Did something happen?" My brother stood frozen. He stared in my direction. His lips moved, but not a single word came out. Summer storms came without warning. Rain poured from the sky. I was soaked within seconds. There was no way I could meet the king looking like this. So I waited in a nearby guest room. I changed into a clean robe and waited for dry clothes. Instead, Wade arrived first. He locked the door behind him. "You don't have to go. I'll take the blame. I won't let this fall on you." I almost laughed. He blamed me first. Now he wanted to protect me. What did he really want? "Open the door." He shook his head. "You still want to enter the palace. But do you even know what kind of man the king is?" The late king died young. The current king took the throne at 7. By 15, he had taken full control of the court. People whispered that he was cold and ruthless. Every noble family feared him. But I knew the real man. After my divorce in my previous life, I bought a small estate at the foot of a mountain. Later, I adopted many homeless children. One day, a young gentleman came to visit. He brought a small gift. He said he had just moved nearby. I believed him. I welcomed him warmly. When I noticed he liked children, I happily asked him to help. I even had him bathe a few little boys. Most of the children I rescued were girls. There were hardly any men at the estate. I hadn't found a helper yet, so he became one. This story is produced exclusively by the YouTube channel Moonlit Stories. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe. Only later did I learn the truth. The mountain was home to the royal summer palace. The king had been staying there. When he saw an estate full of women and children, he suspected something terrible was happening. So he came to investigate himself. He had come to uncover a crime. Instead, I cheerfully put the king to work helping children all afternoon. When he left, I even smiled and said, "Come visit again anytime." And surprisingly, he really did. Every visit ended the same way. The king surrounded by laughing children, helping them, playing with them. If he had truly been the cruel ruler everyone feared, why would he have kept coming back? Wade locked the door. The front door was blocked. So I climbed out the window. The oversized monk's robe made me look ridiculous. The moment I landed, I startled a stray cat hiding from the rain. It shook itself hard. Rainwater splashed all over me. Just as it tried to run, I scooped it up. "You little troublemaker. Even you're picking on me now?" I hugged the fluffy cat and rubbed its soft belly. Little by little, my bad mood disappeared. The cat suddenly slipped out of my arms. It ran behind me. I turned around. Then I froze. Someone was standing in the rain. A single umbrella covered him. The cat sat by his feet. It looked up at him and meowed over and over, almost like it was filing a complaint. The umbrella slowly lifted. Our eyes met. It was King Xiao Jingran. My heart skipped a beat. Of all moments, why did he have to see me like this? I quickly picked up the cat and stepped under his umbrella. The palace attendants in the distance looked shocked. One of them was about to stop me. The king raised a hand. The attendant fell silent. I smiled. I gently lifted the cat's front paws and showed off its fluffy belly. "Your Majesty, wanna try?" I had already checked. The temple monks took great care of this little cat. It was well fed. It trusted people. Its fur was unbelievably soft. Xiao Jingran slowly reached out. He copied what I had done. His fingertips gently brushed the cat's belly.
He paused. Then
He did it again, and again. Before we knew it, the two of us had spent an entire hour petting one very happy cat. Neither of us spoke. When it was finally time to leave, Xiao Jingren looked at me. "Do you want to be queen?" The words slipped out before I could think. "Can I?" In my previous life, I had only met him a few times.
but I noticed something.
He loved simple, innocent things.
Children.
Animals. Anything without hidden motives. He had become king at 7. He grew up surrounded by schemes and lies. Even after taking full control of the throne, he never truly trusted anyone. Only around innocent lives could he finally relax. Thinking about it now, he was still a young man. I never expected him to fall in love with me. That wasn't my goal. If being with me made him feel peaceful, that was enough. Love was unpredictable. Even Wade, who claimed to love my sister so deeply, still put himself first in the end. So why would I expect a king to choose love over his kingdom? After we returned from the temple, my sister quietly left home. She didn't tell anyone. She only left one letter for my brother. "Brother, lately I've been lost. You study to serve the country. But what about me? I want to become someone like Mother. I know I'm not ready yet, so I'm leaving. I want to see the world. I want to grow. Please don't blame me." The moment my brother finished reading, he ordered everyone to go after her. Father stopped him. "Let her go." I knew this day would come. Ever since she chose this path. After losing Mother, Father no longer dreamed of glory for us. He only wanted his children to live safe and happy lives. But he also knew my sister had her own dream. He wouldn't stand in her way. My brother's still worried. She's out there all alone. Will she be okay? And what about her future? Father's quiet for a long moment. Then he smiled. "If she never marries, we'll simply welcome a husband into our family." Later, I visited Father's study again. A small wooden box was gone. In my previous life, I had opened it once. Inside were bottles of medicine for bruises and injuries. When my sister was little, she often got hurt while training. Father always checked on her in secret. Following my gaze, Father smiled. "Back in the army, your mother always hid her injuries. So, I learned a little medicine." He looked out the window. "A woman who chooses this road faces more hardships than most. Your mother chose that life. But that doesn't mean either of you has to." The peaceful days passed quickly. Soon, it was time for me to enter the palace. For days, my brother had avoided me. Today, he finally came. A carriage behind him was filled with gifts. "Ask Father what you really liked. I picked every one of these just for you." He lowered his head. "I'm sorry. That day, I only thought about your sister. I hurt you. If you ever need anything in the palace, just send me a letter. I'll do everything I can." I stood there quietly. I said nothing. Long ago, I had already accepted the truth. In my brother's heart, my sister would always come first. And now, that truth no longer hurt me. The only reason it once hurt so much was because I had expected too much. Xiao Jingran had never been interested in beautiful women. His harem had only 3 consorts. Consort and was 2 years older than the king. She was once a palace maid serving the late Queen Mother. Her background was simple and clean. She was also the first person to stay by Xiao Jingran's side after he became king. After the Queen Mother's downfall, Consort enclosed herself away and rarely appeared. Consort Liu was the daughter of the Grand Tutor. She had once been close friends with the Queen Mother's niece. But after witnessing the king punish that woman with his own hands, she was so frightened that she lost her voice. Among the 3 women, only Consort Liang lived a completely normal life. She was the only girl chosen to remain from the last royal selection. When she summoned me, she was happily eating a large piece of roasted meat. The moment she saw me, her cheeks were full. She waved at me. Come sit. Come sit. Finally, someone new is joining the palace. Her big eyes sparkled. Everyone says His Majesty wants you to become queen. Does that mean I won't have to deal with palace affairs anymore? Her cheeks puffed up as she spoke. I couldn't help reaching out and gently pinching her cheek. She froze. Then she mumbled, "Why does everyone like pinching my face? Even His Majesty does that. No wonder he wants you to be queen." I laughed. For the first time in a long while, I felt relaxed. Maybe life in the palace wouldn't be as difficult as I imagined. During the selection process, I met Xiao Jingran twice. The first time, he came to see me privately. He asked if I had adapted to palace life. I told him everything was fine, but I noticed the exhaustion in his eyes. So, I lit a calming incense. Then I helped ease his tension with a gentle massage. The second time was during the final selection ceremony. Xiao Jingran arrived with Consort Liang. Many noble ladies stood before him.
But he walked straight toward me.
Without hesitation, he placed the royal jade token in front of me. He didn't choose anyone else. This selection, he only wanted one person, his future queen. The wedding was set 6 months later. I returned home to prepare. While organizing mother's inheritance, I found 2 clothing shops among her properties. They had been losing money for years. I personally checked the accounts. There was nothing wrong. The problem was no customers. The shops were completely empty. So I came up with an idea. I set up a small stall outside. With leftover fabric pieces, I made simple hair ribbons and accessories. I gave them to passing women. So many customers entered the shop to look at the fabrics. Business slowly improved. Just as everything was getting better, someone from the Wade family arrived. "Miss Shen, please save our master." The person who entered the king's residence that day was not a woman. It was a short man disguised as one. After the truth was discovered, Wade was punished as well. He returned home sick. His fever never went away. The servant said he kept calling one name, "Miss Shen." I shook my head. "I don't know where my sister is. I can't help you." The servant froze. Then he knelt down. His voice trembled. "Master wasn't calling your older sister? He was calling you." I paused. It almost sounded ridiculous. I had no intention of going, but the servant kept begging. In the end, I agreed to visit the Wade residence. Only a month had passed, yet Wade looked completely different. He was thin and weak. He could barely sit up. When he saw me, a little light returned to his eyes. "Have you ever had a strange dream?" I didn't answer. He smiled bitterly. "In my dream, I followed your brother's idea. We drew lots. And I married you. At first, we were happy. Until my mistake caused you to lose our child." His voice became hoarse. After coughing for a while, he continued, "Ever since we returned from the temple, I've had the same dream again and again. I believe it was a warning from fate. Guy, I truly want to marry you. I will cherish you. I will always put you first." I looked at him calmly.
"No."
"That dream wasn't a sign telling you to marry me. It was a warning telling me never to marry you. And don't worry, I never wanted to marry you either." Wade's eyes went blank, like all hope had disappeared. Then I added quietly, "My sister feels the same way." Those words destroyed the last bit of hope he had left. The servants panicked and called for a doctor. I didn't look back. I simply walked away. The royal wedding became a celebration throughout the kingdom. Before sunrise, Nanny Yang woke me up to prepare. Before leaving my family home, my brother was supposed to carry me to the wedding carriage. But the moment I sat down, something felt wrong. I lifted the wedding veil. The person in front of me was my sister. She was wearing men's clothes. After traveling alone for half a year, she had become calmer and stronger. I noticed a scar near her eyebrow. She smiled. "It's just a small injury. Your brother knew you still had feelings for him. He asked me to come back and send you off." Then she asked softly, "Can your sister carry you one last time?" I held back my tears. Then I climbed onto her back.
She walked slowly,
humming a song I had never heard before. This was Mother's song. She used to sing it to me. Today, I'll sing it for you. It's like Mother is here to send you off herself. Her steps were steady. She carried me all the way to the wedding carriage. The drums sounded. The wedding procession slowly left. My sister stood by the road, watching me disappear into the distance. The ceremony continued, from the royal vows to the moment the king and queen entered their palace. The historians later recorded, the king and queen shared a deep love. Their candle burned through the entire night. Not long after our wedding, I discovered I was expecting a child. The pregnancy went smoothly. After giving birth, many royal doctors cared for me. My health remained strong. Xiao Jingren loved spending time with our child. He wanted to carry the baby everywhere. Even when government affairs filled his days, he would hold our son while reading reports, perhaps because his father was always nearby. Our eldest son became independent from a young age. By the time he was 3, he had started avoiding his overly affectionate father. So I gave Xiao Jingran a fluffy cat to keep him company. Not long after, I became pregnant again. This time, we had a daughter. She looked exactly like her father. Her name was Xiao Wuyu. Xiao Jingran personally cared for her. He refused to let go until she turned 5. Time passed quickly. Both children grew up. Life in the palace became a little boring. So Xiao Jingran and I went to the royal summer palace. I planned to visit the mountain estate I had bought in my previous life. But when I asked about it, I learned it had already become a school. I went inside to take a look. Then I saw my sister. For a moment, I couldn't move. Life had changed everything. My sister introduced me to her students. Some became government officials. Some built their own businesses. Some found loving partners and created peaceful homes. Everyone had chosen their own path. Before we left, my sister suddenly spoke. On the night of your wedding, I had a very long dream. In that dream, I married Pei. He treated me kindly, but the endless duties of a household trapped me inside. The books I once loved, the skills I practiced every day, I could use none of them. Day after day passed. I started wondering, why was I living like this? She looked at the girls studying in the courtyard. Her eyes were gentle and determined. After waking up, I built this school for women. Life should never have only one path. I want to give them another choice.
Thank you for staying with me until the end of the story. What touched me most about Guyi and Xiao Jingran was not just their love, but the quiet understanding they built between two lonely hearts. She never asked him to give up his throne or his responsibilities. She only wanted a place where she could be accepted for who she truly was. And Xiao Jingran, a man who had spent his life surrounded by suspicion and power struggles, finally found someone who brought him peace instead of pressure. Sometimes the deepest love is not about grand promises, but about finding someone who allows you to be your true self. Thank you for listening to Moonlit Stories. I hope this story brought you warmth and emotion. See you in the next story.